It spells, almost viewers, an apocalypse. And with it, the debate has ended. Terror does have an ideology, a religion. And Umar Nabi, the man in the center of your screens, has just self-identified. It's happened. And maybe it was only a matter of time. For years we were told that India would remain immune to the most extreme form of jihadist violence, which is, viewers, the suicide bomber. Never in our country, from the Islamist persuasion, has there been a suicide bomber. There was only one. And that, viewers, was part of the LTTE. And I'll take you all the way back to the early 90s, when Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. Viewers, that somehow Indian Muslims would never be drawn into the deadly ideology is what we were told. But Umar Nabi proved that assumption wrong. This is the man who blew himself up near the Red Fort. And now investigators have recovered a video he recorded a few months before the blast. Viewers, he's recording himself repeatedly. And we have caught hold of one of those videos. And in that video, Umar Nabi sits calmly in a chair. That is a swivel chair. And he swivels like this, viewers. He swivels like this very casually. Beard trimmed, crew cut, a crew shirt. He never once looks at the camera directly, but his gaze is also not lowered in the way that he is ashamed of what he's saying. No, viewers, his expression is firm. It may be evasive, but it is firm. His eyes are a bit red. And then, without hesitation, viewers, he explains that what the world calls, quote, suicide bombing, unquote, is, in his words, a, quote, martyrdom operation, unquote. He says it is religiously ordained. A Fidayeen attack is religiously ordained. He says it is well known in Islam. And he justifies it with the exact vocabulary used by the Hamas, by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and by the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba. This is crucial. This video is crucial, viewers. Because Umar Nabi isn't talking about politics. He isn't talking about discrimination. He isn't talking about alienation or poverty. He's talking about faith. His own words show that he believed he was carrying out God's work. God's work, he called it. This is not the rootless secular violence that apologists love to invoke, viewers. All these woke activists will tell you that, oh, you know, these people, they have been driven to doing this. Viewers, this is the precise doctrine preached by global jihadist groups, where armed struggle is framed as a personal religious duty, and where dying in the attack makes you a shaheed who receives rewards in the afterlife. That's why this video matters, as it exposes the apologists. What have they been saying, viewers? What have they been saying? Imran Masood of the Congress is a member of parliament, this man. And he says, Centre has created fear in Kashmir. Centre's promise of safety now is broken. Delhi unsafe due to Centre's fault in Jammu and Kashmir. In a sense, viewers, implying that people are picking up arms out of resentment against the Indian state. This is what the Congress's member of parliament believes, viewers. Viewers, as I was saying yesterday to all of you, we are sitting on the edge of a precipice. Kashmiri Hindus were actually targeted for their religion and kicked out of Kashmir. Relive, Galiv, Chaliv, convert, die or get out were the slogans that were chanted. Did any of them, viewers, return to blow themselves up in Lal Chowk to prove a point? No, viewers, they didn't. Neither did they invoke their religion. In Pahalgam, The victims were asked their religion. They were asked if they can read the kalma or recite it. They were asked to drop their pants. Viewers, have their victims tied themselves up with gelatin sticks and walked into Lal Chowk? No, viewers, they haven't. Mehbooba Mufti of the PDP says injustice in Kashmir brings repercussions. Blast timing before elections needs to be probed. This is Hussain Dalwai saying all this, viewers. A Congress MP and a Congress senior leader, in fact. Former MP. And Mehbooba Mufti is not far behind, viewers. She says, and look at what she says, viewers. Let's pull it up. Let me just, center created fear in Kashmir. Center's promise of safety now broken. Delhi unsafe due to center's fault in Jammu and Kashmir. This is what they're saying, viewers. This is what they're saying. And when, viewers, you press them, they say, bhatke hue hain. They're misguided youth. The fog has lifted. The enemy has declared himself. Viewers, this video, and let's go back. This man has declared himself. And that old line, terror is no religion, collapses when the terrorist himself uses religious justification as his motive. Now what are these wokes going to say? So the question is simple. Will the political class end the denial and unite in good faith to empower the security forces to fight the good fight? Viewers, that's the fundamental question, because if we are divided, if we make excuses, if we rationalize this business like Europe did, like America did, viewers, we are done for. We're done for. I want to open this up, viewers. And we're going to ask some honest questions. Tausif Shah, let me bring him in. He's the leader of the PDP, senior leader of the PDP. I hope, sir, today you are going to unconditionally denounce your boss, Mehbooba Mufti, who is creating a justification for what Umar Nabi did when Umar Nabi says, in his own words, that he is fighting a holy war and he is ordained by his faith to do this. I hope, sir, tonight you will have the decency to respect those who were killed by Umar Nabi's blind hatred, his bigoted worldview, and you will say, not in my name, not in my religion's name, not in our Prophet's name, may peace be upon him. I hope tonight you will take, sir, the statesman-like high road. And I beg you, sir, to do that tonight. We need to hear from the moderate Muslim. We need to hear that this is not part of what you believe. And that these people are the real apostates, the real kafirs. And what they are quoting is also blasphemous. Please say this tonight. I beg you, sir. We need some hope. I, as a Kashmiri Hindu who was kicked out of Kashmir, sir, need you to say this, because otherwise, sir, we can never return. Never.
Now let me begin. I'll just like to say, yes, it's a very heinous act what has been done. We accept that he was a terrorist. And there's no other, no justification for him not being a terrorist. Now, Mehbooba Mufti has been misquoted in various places. She was the first leader who has given the tweet who said, you deal with the strongest possible law of what you have. With everybody who has supported this terrorist, who has blasted whatever he has blasted her. There were approximately 28, you see, from Delhi to Srinagar, 28 people have been killed, some in Delhi, some in Srinagar. So they all belong to the nation. So Mehbooba Mufti has been only saying that. She has been gravely misconcepted. She is, sorry to say, she has been gravely misquoted. She is saying, you deal with the strongest possible hand, but don't do any harm to their families. He was an independent person. He was a person who has been raised by his family. He is a son of a very poor person. He is His mother, she used to work in different homes to make him a doctor. Then when he became doctor, somehow his mind got, I don't know who brainwashed him, how he was brainwashed, but he was brainwashed. He
But he's told you, sir, how
he
he
took
was
the path.
brainwashed.
He took the path.
He's
He
said it
took the path.
himself. You don't need to
No,
wonder.
how? Just tell me one thing.
He came
Now
out
tell
and he
me
has
one
said,
thing.
now 1 minute.
You cannot come directly. You cannot come directly with a blast and throw it somewhere.
Tausif Shah, 1 minute. First of all, I just want to play out Mehbooba Mufti's soundbite. Director Saab, can we play out Mehbooba Mufti's soundbite? Play it. Let's see. Kitna misquote kariya hai unko. Suniye, viewers, listen.
मरकजी सरकार से आपने बहुत तबाही मचाई 2019 के बाद। ये जो दहशत का माहौल आपने बनाया, आपने दुनिया को बोला कश्मीर में सब ठीक हो गया, मगर आप देखिए कश्मीर का मुसीबत जो हमारी थी वो परसों रेड फोर्ट लाल किले के सामने बोल पड़ी। आपने वादा किया था कि आप जम्मू कश्मीर को सेफ बनाओगे, मगर आपने यहाँ की सेफ्टी तो दूर की बात है, आपने तो दिल्ली को भी अनसेफ कर दिया अपनी पॉलिसी से।
जो आपने यहां तबाही मचाई थी, कश्मीर की मुसीबत रेड फोर्ट के सामने बोल पड़ी। नाउ व्यूअर्स,
क्या ये मुसीबत नहीं है?
एक मिनट तौसीफ शाह, 1 second. I have not asked you anything. I have just played out. मैंने किसी पे कुछ इल्जाम नहीं लगाया. I have not accused anybody. I have just said, let's take this. No, 1 second.
I have to get the clearance.
No, sir. What clearance? I have given you the soundbite.
In what context?
आपने context क्या है, sir? कि we have been discriminated. We have been. No, 1 second.
No. There are 5 lines before it. There are 5 lines after it.
Sir. Give me 3 lines. Give me 3 lines, sir.
You have quoted a line. She said that यहाँ का जो दर्द था, जो मिलिटेंसी अभी तक जम्मू कश्मीर में ही सीमित थी, वो अब यहाँ से निकल के दिल्ली तक पहुंच रही है। जो यहाँ पर हमारे जवानों के साथ हो रहा था, वो आज दिल्ली में भी होने लगा है। Was she wrong in saying that we need to stop this all? We need to introspect. We need to see why this is happening. How can you stop an educated person?
Mr.
You can
Shah.
stop an illiterate.
Mr.
You
Shah.
say that.
Mr. Shah.
Just a
Mr.
second.
Shah. Mr. Shah.
Just
Mr.
give
Shah.
me 30
Mr.
seconds
Shah.
more.
Mr.
Just
Shah,
give me
1 second.
30
1
seconds,
second. No, listen. 1 minute. Listen. I am not here to hold a court of inquiry. Please. I think the viewer understands what is being said, in what context it is being said. Now, you can paper over it and I give you full marks. You're a spokesperson. You're a spin doctor. This is your job. And you're doing a very effective job. That's great. And you can take 5 stars from me out of 5. But great. But I can tell you one thing, viewers. You see, if you were to extend this logic about resentments, imagine what you will end up justifying. I can tell you, viewers, that there are many people who have been killed because somebody decided that their actions were blasphemous. You know, Sartan se Juda gang, they come and they kill you. Now, their kin should strap themselves to a bomb and go and blow themselves up instead of every sort of religious area, this, that, the other, that belongs to another community. But they don't do it, viewers. There is no rationale for terror. Gandhi ji turned the other cheek as he told us to. Now, you may be a supporter of it, you may not be a supporter of it, but he didn't say, let's all strap up and become. Which Indian viewers at that time before independence did not have a grievance against the people who were ruling them? Every one of us did. We were kicked in our spleens. Did we become terrorists? And certainly not in the name of religion, viewers. We didn't say that, you know, there are these kalmas, this, that, the other, that force us to do this, we'll be guaranteed this, that, the other. This is what the man is saying. You see, the beauty today, and the tragedy also, is that this man is a self-declared jihadi, fidain, in the name of religion. Dr. Ranganathan, am I cooking this up? This man has come out and he has confessed that there is something like this. Now, we are, as a nation, so tongue-tied. We can talk about Hindu terror, we can talk about Hindutva terror, because there is no one who will come and say, tumhara sartan se juda ho jayega. But the moment you invoke these words, and I am putting my head on the chopping block, viewers, by saying that yes, today terror has a religion and this man has confessed to it, I become, viewers, a Hindu terrorist. That's what they will say. An Islamophobe. Dr. Ranganathan, you tell me, what is going on here?
Good evening, Rahul. I'm afraid it's not that you might become, you have. Ever since this morning, you tweeted the clip of the suicide bomber. Some screechy RJ has accused you of the very same, saying that how dare media publicize that clip because it would radicalize people. She is the same person who has never condemned millions turning out at the funerals of terrorists. Talking of which, the previous panelist, please ask him in his spare time, why did his party chief, Mehbooba Mufti, eulogize the terrorist Nasrallah and even suspended her election campaign for a day as a eulogy, as a tribute? These are the people, and you know them, but let's get back to the issue. Quote, suicide bombing is a martyrdom operation and it is known in Islam. Dr. Umar Nabi, Red Fort suicide bomber. He's right. Quote,
It's wrong.
never say those who martyred in the cause of Allah are dead. They are alive and with Allah and are being looked after. 2 154, 3 169. And by the time I end, I know this. I will be, Rahul, accused of 4 crimes: misinterpretation, miscontextualizing, whataboutery, and non believer ignorance, kafir ignorance. Never mind. Look, there are 2 things you need to understand. Number 1, there is no such thing as radical Islam. Tell me, if I read and follow chapter and verse of the book Biochemistry by Leninger, do I become a radical scientist? Or if I memorize the Sebastian textbook of surgery, would you start calling me a radical surgeon? The essence of azan amplified through the loudspeaker 5 times a day is, quote, no one has the right to be worshipped but Allah 4062. Do not take disbelievers as friends unless they convert 489. Those who disbelieve in our verses, we will drive them into a fire 456. Fight against those who do not believe in Allah. Fight them until they give the jizya while they are humble 929. And that often publicized verse 532. That Islam preaches peace because Quran says, quote, if you kill one human being, you kill the entire humanity. Well, that is a conditional order for Jews, children of Israel. And the very next verse, 533, describes the awful punishment for them if they don't follow it. Look, we've been here before. A practicing Muslim who believes in the Sharia and every single word that there is in the Holy Quran is a good Muslim. While a Muslim who drinks, fornicates, indulges in idle talk or music, supports Muslim women who reject the burqa, draws a portrait of whomsoever he wishes to, marries a non-Muslim, is homosexual, gives equal share of inheritance to females, and is fine with all his fellow Muslims being all of the above, is a bad Muslim. Allah himself has defined just who is a good Muslim, 33, 36, 3, 132, 8, 2, 49, 15. And every single time, Rahul, the apologists cringe at violence or retribution being ordered. They bring out the excuse of context of interpretation in order to hide the true meaning. In fact, I challenge them, it is the Muslims who are Islamophobic. They fear Islam. They fear to bring out the orders and the commandments of their holy book in its entirety on Jews, Christians, polytheists, homosexuality, apostasy, heresy, dress code, wife beating, blasphemy, because they fear being called illiberal and hypocrites. So they end up condemning and branding as radicals the Muslims who are faithfully following the fundamentals. They spare the fundamentalists, but spare the fundamentals. Now 30 seconds. Dr. Umar Nabi is following the fundamentals. Rahul, the disbelievers of that time, polytheists, Christians, Jews, homosexual, apostates, were seen to possess certain characteristics, and it is these characteristics that are condemned and ordered to be punished in the Holy Book. The orders are not for non-believers of that time. They are for anyone who possesses their characteristics for all time. It is specious, is it not, to claim orders that apply to non-believers are meant for non-believers of that time, but orders that apply to believers, i.e. Muslims, are meant for believers of today's time? And second thing we have to understand right now, as long as we believe everything else is a lie, we are sprouting thousands of doctors like Muzammil and Shahina and Umar who have only one reason to live: death.
Well, viewers, let me take sample number 2 now. Sample number 2, viewers, says, and he's a Congress senior leader, Hussain Dalwai, injustice in Kashmir brings repercussions. Here's no ambiguity here, viewers.
Amazing.
Blast timing before elections needs to be probed. RSS should be probed over provocation. As if, viewers, their provocation has resulted in Umar Nabi turning himself into a martyr for the cause of his faith. Now, Sheikh Amir, I want you to tell me, are you there? Are you listening?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think injustice in Kashmir brings repercussions in Red Fort? Tell me, sir. Answer the question.
Rahul, what is the fun of debating? When the debate is about every Muslim is a terrorist, Quran preaches, whatever is written in Quran, it only talks about violence. It talks about, it goes against non-Muslims, kafirs. Mr. Ranganathan knows that whatever he's saying, he's not talking about Quran. He's talking about his own interpretations. He knows it. That's why he says somebody will come up, people will come and they will say it's a wrong interpretation.
Yes.
According to Dr. Ranganathan, clearly he says that all the Muslims, not only Indian, everybody who is a Muslim is a terrorist. That's what he's
Do
saying.
not put words in
And
my
what
mouth.
I don't think he said that.
What is that?
Sheikh Amir, he has not said that.
What is Rahul?
Blatant
no,
attempt at
left
dog
to
whistling.
debate?
Please, why don't you just
I'm on
step
the
in?
debate.
1 second, Dr. Ranganathan,
Rahul,
explain
let me
yourself.
complete. When Dr. Ranganathan
First-
was
No, 1
First,
second,
I
1
want
second,
to
1
find
second.
out-
enough time.
Let him. No, you can't slander somebody because,
gave
sir,
enough
the
time.
repercussions of slander in this country are huge.
You felt,
No, 1 minute,
you
1
think-
minute.
you think
Let
I'm
him finish,
slandering?
let him explain. You made a
No,
charge
Rahul, you
against
think
him.
I'm-
Have you, Dr. Ranganathan, 1 minute.
Rahul,
I am conducting
Rahul, you
this
think I'm
debate.
speaking
You have
against
made a
Ranganathan,
claim
that's
against Dr. Ranganathan. Let him defend
Now-
himself in a sensitive matter. That's the least you can do.
Rahul, let's
Let him
really-
defend himself. You cannot
Yes,
misquote
Rahul.
somebody on the show. Yes,
Now,
Dr. Ranganathan,
Rahul,
respond.
No, no,
And let me lower his
Rahul,
fader.
it's very
Yes.
unfortunate.
No, 1 second. We'll come to you. Yeah, make your
This
point.
is also from their textbook. It's not a holy textbook. But I want to ask this Congress spokesperson a simple thing.
No, first
simple
explain.
question. Sheikh
Respond
Amir.
to him
Yeah,
on what
I
he
am.
has accused you of.
Rahul,
I am.
you
Sheikh
gave
Amir.
him
Sheikh,
enough time.
अरे यार सुन लो ना यार सुन लो have some decency please Rahul, can I continue?
Yeah.
Anything goes against
Oh god, this is excoriating.
he
Look,
no,
Sheikh,
you-
listen.
I'll come
I
to you,
will-
Sheikh Amir. Listen to him. You have made an accusation against him. He's on the show. He has a right to rebut.
No, I'm
You
yet
can
to
then
speak.
come back and
I'm
you
yet
can
to
rebut
speak.
him. That's how a
You pick
debate
up the
is
lines and
conducted.
start- No. This is not.
No, what do you mean? No.
This is not.
What
the
do you
way.
mean? No.
You
I
gave
don't
him
know.
enough time.
No,
Which-
you are not.
speaking
You are not
uninterrupted.
addressing yourself to the question I asked you. That injustice in Kashmir brings repercussions. Blast timing before election needs to be probed. Hussain Dalwai, your Congress
what you-
leader, is saying
what you
it.
should be-
You are
what you should be
misrepresenting
debating
what a
about.
panelist is saying,
Rahul,
and the
what you
panelist
should be
has no
debate-
right to defend
No,
himself.
I'm here. I'm not here. I'm not
So
here
1
to
minute,
listen this-
just give me
listen this.
give me
No.
30 seconds for this gentleman to clarify his name. Because the last person who could not get an opportunity to clarify her name is today sitting in house arrest almost.
Let him clarify.
Yeah, so let him clarify. Yes.
Yes, why did Sheikh Amir, why did you say that all Hindus are terrorists? How dare you say that?
Who said that? Who said that?
So who said all
said that?
Muslims are terrorists? Who said
You
all
said
Muslims
that.
are terrorists?
You did.
When? When?
You are referring to Quranic verses.
When?
You are referring to Quranic
When
verses.
did I say?
Misinterpreting them, Ranganathan.
There we go. It's so easy to expose them.
What should be
As
the-
I
what
said,
should be
it's
the
not
debate
just
about?
one Umar.
Debate should be
It's
about
not just one
why
Umar.
this attack happened. Why our people
You-
got killed. Why people
Why
got killed
did
in
you say
Pahalgam.
all Hindus
Why?
are terrorists?
Okay, so hang on. Sheikh Amir.
Why did you
Sheikh
say all
people-
Hindus are terrorists?
When-
जेल जाना है
when
क्या
Hindus
आपको?
get-
जेल जाना है? All Hindus terrorists कब से हो गए? Why did you say all Hindus are terrorists? How dare you? 1 billion Hindus को
you can
terrorist
say
बना दिया.
anything. Nobody can stop you. You
क्या
can say
पढ़ के
anything,
आते
whatever you
हो
want to say.
कि सारे हिंदू से
Whatever you
हेट
want to
करते हो
say.
इतना?
Okay.
What do you read that you make hate Hindus so much यार?
No,
क्या पढ़ते हो
don't
बताओ?
think- don't think
क्या
you-
पढ़ते हो?
you-
And how many
no.
times do you read in a day? कितना इतना
This is-
hate कहाँ
this
से
is the
लाते हो?
answer. This is
So
how
much
you claim
poison.
yourself. No.
Where is
Okay,
it
one
coming
second.
from?
Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
There is so much poison
Sheikh
coming
Amir.
from Sheikh.
Yeah, okay. Let me
It is
ask the
coming
Sheikh.
from the sand
Let me
dunes.
ask the Sheikh Amir. Let me ask him. Sheikh Amir, I want you to answer this question. Hussain Dalwai has come out and said the injustice in Kashmir brings repercussions. Do you accept this? I'm only asking you a statement.
Rahul, I'm not going to accept anything. The only thing I'm asking is that when Pahalgam happened, Delhi blast happened, why don't we question the government? Why is this happening? Nagrota happened, Uri happened, Pahalgam happened, Pulwama happened, and we don't question the government.
Okay.
Somebody
No,
said
question
something, we're
what?
not here to debate that.
I'm going to question
Somebody
why
said
did
something,
Umar,
Mehbooba-
why did Umar go to some cleric who is a preacher of Islam and become radicalized? The government needs to answer
Some
for that
preacher-
also.
No.
Boss,
Some
you have
preacher
no
said
you have
something
no
that he
onus,
got-
no
he got
responsibility.
brainwashed.
What do you mean he got
This terrorist-
brainwashed?
this terrorist, you cannot say
Yeah,
that
so
this
brainwashed by
terrorist is following-
what? By what?
Huh?
Who are these clerics?
No, it's not the Islamic teachings.
No, I'll tell you,
It's
viewers.
not the Islamic teachings.
Okay.
He was not being.
Okay, it's not
It's
Islamic
not the
teaching.
Islamic. Don't blame Islam for
But
that.
then why is this man saying, why is this man saying that I am performing my religious duty? That this suicide bombing is well known in Islam.
So are you telling me when a Hindu kills somebody, just he claims to be Gaurakshak?
But you always say that. Don't you not say that he's a Hindu terrorist? Aap bolte to ho.
What do you mean by
Who
that?
came up with these
He's a
words?
Hindu terrorist.
Who came up with the
Blame
words
Hinduism
Hindu
for that.
terrorist and
Will you
Hindutva
blame
terror?
Hinduism for that,
No,
Rahul?
one second, Sheikh Amir. Is it not a fact that your Congress party leaders came up with the word Hindu terror? What is Hindu terror? अब आप बता
Hindu
दीजिए.
terror? What is Islamic terror?
Well, I'm asking you.
Who was Godse?
I'm
Who was
asking you.
Godse?
See now, viewers,
When-
there you go.
when-
So
let
there
me-
you
give
go.
me 10
Godse
seconds.
is a Hindu
Rahul, give me 10
terrorist.
seconds.
No, one second.
Just
One
10
second.
seconds. 10
One second. One
seconds,
second.
Rahul.
Lower the fader.
When-
Godse
when-
is a Hindu terrorist, viewers. But Umar Nabi is a Bhatkawa individual. This is the double standards.
Amazing.
They
Amazing.
cannot come out and, viewers, call out what is a rot within the system. I want to ask you, Sheikh Amir, who chanted the slogan? Who chanted the slogan? Ralev, Galev.
the helm of the affair?
No, I'm asking you. Ralev, Galev, Chalev. किसने chant किए वो slogan आपके कश्मीर में?
किसने किया? Find them.
किसने किया?
Find them and hang them.
Find them. You support them, sir.
Government तुम्हारे
You
पास,
kept quiet.
सब
Did
कुछ
you
तुम्हारे
come out
पास,
on the
सवाल
streets?
हमसे पूछ
Did you
रहे
hold
हो।
a press? No, hang on.
From
Did you
last-
hold a
from
press
last-
conference? No Congress leader, viewers, held a press conference to say, or held a candle in their hands to say, what has happened has not happened in my name. This is not what we stand for. Sab chup the when Kashmiri Hindus were kicked out. Why? Because
When
of
Muslims are
Islamist
lynched-
terror.
when Muslims are
Because
lynched,
of
why don't you hold a
Islamist
candle
terror,
in
they
your
were
hand?
kicked out. Viewers,
When
I want
Muslims
to
are
open
lynched
this
in
up.
UP,
1 minute,
when
I want to
Muslims
open
are
this
lynched
up.
in Rajasthan, why
Sir,
don't you hold a candle in
Sir,
there?
do we not? Do we not?
No,
What
you
was
don't.
all made in?
You
No,
don't.
hang on, 1 minute, 1
You
minute.
don't.
People
Your
have
debate
returned.
is
1
not
minute,
about
1 minute,
why
1
this
minute, 1
is
minute, 1 minute.
happening.
Lower the fader. 1 second. This guy
Why-
will keep shouting over me. He won't accept the facts. Did Hindus not return, viewers, their awards? Did they not give up their medals? Did they not come out and they say that not in our name? They held a huge protest in Jantar Mantar. Are Hindus not fighting the cases for Akhlaq and company who were lynched? You name me one, viewers, from the other side who has come out and held a candle today and said not in our name and marched. They marched for Nasrallah. They hold a candle for Nasrallah. They hold a candle for that Hamas fellow who was
Memon.
blown up eating a pizza in his home.
Yeah.
Isn't it true? Yeah. Sinwar. वो आपके बड़े वो मॉडल्स हैं. ओसामा जी हम थोड़ी बुलाते हैं सर. आप जानते हैं कौन बुलाते हैं? आपके पार्टी लीडर्स बुलाते हैं. ओसामा जी, ओसामा बिन लादेन
I
जी,
don't understand
हाफिज सईद
someone
जी.
like-
1 minute. Tuin Sinha, would you like to respond to this charge that Sheikh Amir keeps making, that the PDP spokesperson will come to make if I give him another opportunity? That look, at the end of the day, you see, this is all a misrepresentation. This is an opportunity to
Rahul,
victimize
the
Muslims, and you have
video
got
of-
one. And Major Arya will come in right after. Yeah.
Well, Rahul, the video of Umar Nabi should have set alarm bells across the country. But instead you have Congress party, instead you have, the PDP trying to normalize this kind of a terror propensity. Now, when it comes to the Congress, I'm actually quite surprised. They seem to be diligently proving, the new name that Prime Minister Modi has given them, which is Muslim League Maoist Congress. But why blame, Sheikh Amir, or why blame Tausif Shah over here? The problem lies with the top leadership of the Congress party. Last week, do you recall how P. Chidambaram had come up with a normalization, with a sort of normalization of what happened in, via the Delhi blast, when he says we need to figure out, we need to introspect why there are educated terrorists. Now imagine the notoriety in the behavior of P. Chidambaram. Between 2004 and 2009, there was this organization, Indian Mujahideen, which P. Chidambaram as Home Minister had no control over. And who was heading, Indian Mujahideen? Riaz Bhatkal. What was the qualification of Riaz Bhatkal? Civil engineer. So most of these, terrorists, most of these new age terrorists, very shockingly, also have high educational qualifications. Now, instead of calling them Bhatka hua yuvak, or why are educated terrorists, I think the Congress knows answers. The Congress, has been reduced to a fringe because of its hypocrisy, and it continues with that hypocrisy. But this hypocrisy is dangerous from the point of view of national security, and the country will not tolerate Congress doing this. The reason why it is being relegated to beyond a fringe, it is not even, it does not exist anywhere in the country because of this attitude.
Okay. I want to bring in Major Arya, and
of
also
course,
I
just
want to bring in
10 seconds, 10 seconds more. Just 10 seconds more. I heard the PDP spokesperson trying to, manipulate the comments of Mehbooba Mufti. But don't we all remember her comments just prior to the abrogation of Article 370? What had she said? कश्मीर में एक बच्चा नहीं बचेगा जो तिरंगा लहराएगा, जो तिरंगा फहराएगा. And now 6 years down the line, her frustration has only increased because the whole of Kashmir is aligned with India, barring a few radical elements which they tend to support even now.
Viewers, I have held up my mobile phone and I am quoting now an independent source, India Today. Nothing to do with CNN, News 18, TV 18, anybody like that. This is a website article, and Major Arya, I want you to explain this. Display of ISIS Pak flags is expression of anger, says Farooq Abdullah. This, viewers, was Farooq Abdullah Sahab. Display of ISIS Pak flags is expression of anger. For them, viewers, either you blow yourself up or you join the ISIS, it's okay. Bhatke hue log hain who are expressing their anger. So this is nothing new. And when this statement was made, viewers, I'll tell you, this was made back in 2015. Talking about 10 years ago. The mindset has remained the same. Mehbooba Mufti today, Abdullah 10 years back. This is their mindset. ISIS, Major Arya, can you please tell our viewers what this ISIS, Islamic Jihad, Jaish-e-Mohammed mindset is? You have been a student of national security. How do you fight radicalized Islamist terrorists? I don't know. It's a losing battle as far as I'm concerned. I think it's important. You look at Israel. 2.5 years it has been trying to extinguish the flame. It hasn't succeeded.
No, Israel will extinguish the flame, and so will we. Yes, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. You just don't take the foot off their neck. You keep on pressing down. Now, this whole thing about...
this is a hydra. The point is, you put your foot on one neck and 10 people come to apologize for that. You see?
We have many feet. We have many feet. And we have more feet than they have heads and necks. What I'm trying to say here is that, the Congress spokesperson, Sheikh Amir, when Anand Ranganathan was making his comments, the first thing he did, very typically, Sheikh Amir, he tried to scare Anand Ranganathan. So what he did was, this is very funny and I was laughing, he's tried to scare him that you're saying all Muslims are terrorists. What he wanted to do actually, and I'll tell you, and I'm telling it on his face, what he wanted to do was put a mark on Anand's back. What he wanted to do was scare him. He wanted to do a Nupur Sharma on Anand Ranganathan. देखिए शेख साहब कोई डरता नहीं है, किसी को दो कौड़ी का फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
Somebody misinterpreting Quran.
Sir, एक मिनट. Allow me to speak, sir. Allow me to speak. No, क्या होता है? No, क्या होता है? मैं आधे घंटे से चुप हूँ. I listen to you. Listen, एक मिनट.
आपके दादा हिंदू थे, कुछ तो शर्म कर ले भाई.
एक मिनट. इनके दादा जो मर्जी हो. सर एक बात बताऊं मैं, ये जो पूरी कश्मीर में स्टोन पेल्टिंग होती है, where did it come from? It came from Hamas, it came from the Intifada. It came from the Intifada that the Palestinians was doing. And today, Dr. Nabi's, the guy he was trying to radicalize, whose father self-immolated, he was making these drones.
Yes.
I mean, he was trying to put explosives on drones. He was trying to put rockets. Where did he get it from? He got it from Hamas. Oh, bhai, baat ye hai. Let me explain to you. This whole thing you said, where do you must have seen those images of stone pelting in the valley before Article 370 and 35 were abrogated. Didn't you see so many flags of Islamic State? And everybody, all these guys, whether it's stone pelters, they would put up this one finger shahada. Right?
Yes.
One finger, one God. And all of them, who had joined Islamic State, who had joined affiliates of Al-Qaeda or Hizbul Mujahideen or other this thing, I forget the exact Arabic name now. What I'm trying to say is that, you see, there is only one language that the terrorists understand, and that is the language of violence. ये हम लोग जो बहुत समझाने की कोशिश करते हैं ना भटका हुआ नौजवान, ये भटके हुए नौजवान को put them 6 feet under the ground, ये सब ठीक हो जाएंगे. ये जो बुरान के साथ करा था वही इसके साथ करना है. ये जहां आप छूट देंगे, it's like a snake. You remove your head, the snake will bite you. You crush the head, the snake will understand. And the snake can be a friendly creature when it knows that it's going to get hammered. So what I'm trying to say is that if anybody thinks, and all these politicians, whether from Congress or any other party, who are trying to say that, something has happened in Kashmir, and therefore, I'll tell you, you mentioned that you were a Kashmiri Pandit. I want to tell you something, Rahul.
Hindu. Yeah.
In Kashmiri Hindu. So, I was roaming around here in Noida taking a walk. This is a few years back. There is a house that I saw. It belonged to a Kashmiri Pandit. I will not take that gentleman's name. Outside his house, he had written Renawadi. आपने तो पंडितों को निकाल दिया, उन्होंने कश्मीर वॉशिंगटन डीसी में बना लिया, नोएडा में बना लिया, बॉम्बे में बना लिया, और यहां पे क्या बना? डॉक्टर नबी, जो अपने आप को फाड़ रहा है लाल किले के आगे.
Well,
ये आपसे कहना चाहता हूं शेख साहब.
This is the problem. Yeah. What is this, Dr. Ranganathan?
Yeah, this is ANI. This is ANI article who is saying that Mehbooba Mufti had said rivers of blood will flow if Article 370 is abrogated.
Well,
अब जरा इनसे पूछिए तौसीफ शाह से कौन से rivers of blood flow कर गई?
But I'll say one thing to you. You see, viewers,
they're all the same.
This competitive politics, this appeasement politics would not have. अच्छा, एक मिनट, शाह साहब, एक second. This, you see, these comments would not be coming had there been no political process in Kashmir, had it remained suspended. Supreme Court में जो milords बैठे हुए हैं, viewers, despite all of us warning that Kashmir is not ready right now for elections and competitive politics, they went ahead and gave a deadline to say elections will be held. And I'm saying this, viewers, because I opposed this then, and I've been proven right today. Those fires have been set off because there are people who are competing now for vote banks, and they believe by standing with these individuals, these Islamist terrorists, viewers, they are going to get some big votes. Who is responsible for this? This sort of virtue signaling. Eventually, viewers, the Supreme Court has to ask itself, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Should they not have listened to the executive? Should they not have left the decision in the hands of the executive? And today, viewers, they are demanding full statehood. Once they demand full statehood, law and order will be under them. Once law and order is under them, viewers, all these people will be out, doing what they cannot do right now.
Rahul, do you know who this is?
Let me tell you this. Yeah.
Some already are out and on the panel. No, but to be serious.
No, let's not go there. That's not fair. That's not fair. Forget that. That's not fair. That's not fair. Just forget that. Yeah. That's expunge that. Expunge that. But the point is, viewers, the point is there are sympathizers. There are many sympathizers. There are many apologists who are out there. And that is the danger. And they're educated. There is nobody coming out with a candle, viewers, today to say that. And remember, viewers, more Muslims have been killed by Muslims in the name of faith than in any other tradition on earth.
With your statehood.
Yes. Very quickly, and I want to move on.
This is me on a flight, to Srinagar, and I have Farooq Abdullah sitting next to me, and I wrote to my friend, I said, sitting with the King Cobra himself.
Well, some people will call him that, viewers, but somebody who comes out and says, 10 years ago, that people waving ISIS flags, etc., are bhatkawa, misguided. Viewers, it tells you where they're coming from. Let me tell you that. That seed was planted then, it is sprouting today. I want to move on. Viewers, there's been a massively big development. And it presages a question, it prefaces a question. Is Narendra Modi the only guarantor of India's national security? The killing by security agencies of the de facto Osama bin Laden of Maoist terrorist Hidma. His name is Hidma, that man in the middle of your screens. Goes a huge distance in answering the question in the affirmative. The killing of this man is akin to driving the last nail into the coffin of left-wing extremism in this country. This is a major setback for the Maoists and comes close on the heels of the killing of Nambala Keshav Rao and Basavraj, alias Basavraj, in May, and the surrender of Molujula Venugopal Rao aka Bhupatti in October. Hidma was no ordinary insurgent. That man in the middle of your screens who has been killed today by the security forces was no ordinary insurgent. Viewers, he was India's most wanted Maoist commander, chief of the CPI Maoist deadliest strike unit, one of the youngest in the Maoist central panel, carried a bounty of over 1 crore on his head. 1 crore. Mastermind behind major ambushes in Bastar, key plotter of Jhiram Valley and Sukma attacks, which claimed the lives of several security forces. Known for brutal tactics and precision planning, moves with multiple security rings, highly elusive. He's dead, viewers. Finished. Finito. It's almost over with him and his death. And the cremation of the longest running insurgency in India is being performed by the Modi-led NDA government. And viewers, I'm just going to show you a representation. This is how the Red Corridor looked, covering all these states and 76 districts in 2013. Now, viewers, look at the map today. Let's look at the map today. That's what it's come down to. Some pockets, viewers, 6 districts of Andhra, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Telangana, and after this back of theirs has been broken by the killing of Hidma, viewers, they're almost on the deathbed, as I told you. Almost finished entity. Maoist terror as we know it is now breathing its last. And Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, has already come out and said that in a couple of months, there will not be one Maoist terrorist out there. He's repeatedly committed to eradicating left-wing extremism by March 31st, 2026. Operations this year have neutralized over 312 Maoists in the Red Corridor, which at its peak covered over 180 districts, and I showed you that. They have now been confined to just about 6 districts, with most affected districts brought down to just 3. Yes, viewers, the Maoists are realizing that under Modi, their revolution will never come. And I want to bring in Kapil Madan very quickly. Kapil Madan, you're a political analyst, pro-Congress. It's quite clear, sir, that it is Modi who is the number one Rakshak of this country. He is actually the lead Chokidar of this country. The Congress left to them could not have achieved this. In fact, if anything, Maoist insurgency grew under the Congress, despite Dr. Manmohan Singh saying that they are the number one security internal threat.
Yes, Rahul, allow me to respond. I will just start by saying and informing our viewers, operations back then were never be a PR exercise. They used to be professional missions. And let me give, some hard facts to your viewers. During the UPA era, similar operations have happened and they have neutralized Maoists like, namely Azad, that happened in 2010, Kishanji, that happened in 2011, Sudhakar Reddy, that happened in 2009, Apparao in 2010, and the list goes on. I can give you, 10 more names. Back then, they never used to, do a politicization of, these kind of professional security missions. It has been happening in the past, and it is happening right now also. So what you need to do at this point in time is you need to give credit to our security forces who were able to conduct and implement and finish this mission.
Okay.
And to say that Narendra Modi ji is the protector, and it is only because of Mr. Narendra Modi this is happening. Then I say this is an irrational logic. Okay. Because
let me tell you, viewers,
Modi ji being at the hands. Hold on. Allow me to finish, Rahul. At Narendra Modi ji being at the helms of the face of a country, we've seen recently in the span of 6 months 2 major terror incidents. One at the heart of Delhi, and second, what we've seen in Pahalgam. And to say and to say it is only because of Mr. Narendra Modi. Once you give political credit to a political,
have you finished, or are you going to repeat
leader?
yourself like a broken record?
I'm
You
not
made your
repeating.
points? Okay.
Yes.
So now let me bring in
Allow me.
Tuhin Sinha. Tuhin Sinha, quick response to the gentleman who says, under us, we did a lot more.
Well, Rahul, as we are on the cusp of Naxal-free Bharat, in exactly 130 days from now, there won't be a trace of any Naxal in any part of the country. But why only today? The death of the killing of Hida. In the last 2 months, in just the last 2 months, whether it was Madvi Hidma, or whether it was Modem Balakrishnan on 11 September in Chhattisgarh, Saitev Soren 15 September Hazaribagh, Katta Ramachandra Reddy 22
I understand. What has
September
changed?
Chhattisgarh,
What has
or
changed
Kadari
between
Satyanarayan
your...
Reddy.
What has changed now? What was
Political
lacking then?
willpower.
Okay, political will.
Willpower. Political willpower. And number two, most importantly, we have a plan ahead. I was doing some calculations a few days ago. The number of districts which have been made Naxal free, those districts are going to drive economic growth for India in the coming years, and the growth in those districts, in just those districts, would be to the tune of 0.3 to 0.5%. They would be adding
Dr.
that
Ranganathan,
percentage to the
do you have a
GDP
point
in the
to
next
make here?
3 to 4 years.
Is it
That's the
wrong to
difference.
credit political will?
Absolutely not. And I would, in fact, in addition to Prime Minister, I would like to really hugely credit and congratulate Amit Shah, because it's that team. Remember, I have to say this, also give credit to Mr. Chidambaram during the UPA. He also wanted to drive out these Naxals, but there was no political will because half their supporters were in Sonia Gandhi's NSC. In fact, that is what worries me. If I have 30 seconds, look, there is striking parallel between Islamic extremism and Maoism and Naxalism. And that is what I fear, because you may exterminate or take out Islamists, but it's very difficult because their supporters are there. The same goes for Maoist extremists as well. You may actually take out the field Naxals, but you will still have the urban Naxals and, dare I say, bourbon Naxals as well. Unless you kind of, suppress them and their thought process, which we saw was not possible during the UPA. Hence, the Hydra head was never taken out. You will have the same problem, but in the interim at least, we need to congratulate both this government, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah. Stupendous achievement.
Okay, well, viewers, I leave it to your better judgment. You can decide who should be credited here. But the fact is that Hidma is in the bag. He is not going to be speaking. And this particular strain, this virulent strain of insurgency is now breathing its last. And I just hope, viewers, we don't leave anything to chance. There are many people who have now begun to criticize Modi for actually a take no prisoners policy. So they say that, you're going too much, too far. Too much, too far to defend your national interests, viewers. Can there be anything like that? No. But anyhow, viewers, there will be people who will say this. I need to move on, because when we talk about people going too far and indiscriminately, illegally, then Bangladesh is staring right back at us, because that's where the International Crimes Tribunal, nothing international about it, it's just a fancy appellation, has ordered the death penalty to ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and 2 senior aides for committing crimes against humanity during the July 2024 uprising. The former Prime Minister called the verdict rigged and politically motivated. 2 were killed, in fact, as massive clashes broke out in several parts of Bangladesh, including capital Dhaka, after the International Tribunal's death penalty ruling. The Awami League had called for a nationwide shutdown today and has dared that the war against the interim extremist Yunus government will continue till he steps down. Now, I have with me Sheikh Hasina's son with us, Sajib Wazid. Thank you very much for making the time, Mr. Wazid. I know these are difficult times for you, but I want you to first tell us, why is it that you believe that this particular process of trying your mother for alleged war crimes is ultra-virus of law?
No, thank you very much for having me. First of all, it is ultra-virus in so many ways. First of all, the regime itself is unelected, unconstitutional, undemocratic. So they have the regime has no legal basis. Then, in order to try her under this tribunal, because this tribunal was set up in 1973 to try the war criminals from our War of Independence. That was its entire scope. In order to try her here, they had to amend the laws and allow the trial in this tribunal so that it could be expedited. However, laws can only be amended by parliament, and there is no parliament. So that the legal basis for trying her at this tribunal itself is illegal. Then they would not let her appoint her own lawyers. Our lawyers were not allowed to even go to the courts. The courts appointed their own lawyers. The judges at this court, 17 judges were terminated right before this trial, and new judges were appointed, some who had no experience as being a judge and who were completely politically biased. So the outcome was preordained. We all knew what the verdict was going to be, and the entire trial was finished in 140 days, which is unprecedented.
So some victims and families of the student uprising have called this a moment of justice. But many also say the tribunal established by your mother's government raises questions of fairness. Do you support some form of, or do you respond to calls for independent international investigations into the 2024 crackdown?
Of course, we have always welcomed that. Our government itself had appointed a judicial panel to investigate all killings. But here again, you have had trials only for the killings, deaths of students and protesters. But at the same time, hundreds of police officers were killed. And then continuing, even after our government stepped down, hundreds of our party activists were killed. And there have been, not only have there been no investigation or charges or trials for police killings and killings of our activists, this regime actually passed an ordinance, basically a law, that gave immunity to all protesters who killed police, who killed our activists. So that means there's only been justice for the killings of protesters, but justice has been forbidden for the police officers and for our party activists. That is not justice.
Okay. How do you navigate now the diplomatic risk between India and Bangladesh? Your mother is, of course, here in India. And there are demands now from Dhaka of Delhi to hand her over. How do you navigate this? India, of course, at this moment remains non-committal.
Well, actually, India cannot legally send back my mother. For a treaty to be enforceable, you have to demonstrate that the legal process in the country followed international standards. Now, those standards have not been met for all of these reasons. If nothing else, the regime itself is illegal. So India is under no legal obligation to send my mother back. In fact, India has a legal obligation that because the process was so ultra-virus that it cannot send back my mother. Amnesty International has called these trials not fair and a farce. Human Rights Watch has called these trials unfair. And so you have international organizations now saying that these trials were not free and fair. She did not get due process.
Now, Mr. Majid, I want to ask you this because this is a question that is often posed. Why is it that we're not seeing a greater concert of democracies and world leaders speaking up for Sheikh Hasina? What's going wrong?
I think that over the years, there's probably been, I don't think anyone has that much attention on Bangladesh at the moment. You've got the war in the Ukraine going on. You've got other conflicts rising. You've got trade wars. I think everyone's attention is a little diverted at this point.
That's what you really believe? You think that it's because it's not because they don't believe that Sheikh Hasina is innocent?
Look, the international media, the Western media, was quite involved in portraying a very negative image of my mother. That, of course, has had an impact. But if you look at Bangladesh, the majority of the people of the country are very much opposed to this verdict. You've had 102 prominent journalists write a letter condemning this verdict. You've had 100 prominent doctors write a letter condemning this verdict. You've had 1,000 school teachers write a letter condemning this verdict. You've had lawyers protesting outside of the courts, protesting this verdict.
Mr. Wazid, what next? I know that when other politicians in the subcontinent, for example, have had to flee their countries, especially those that were ruling their countries, like Ms. Bhutto or even General Pervez Musharraf and so on and so forth, at some point, they have found a way to return. What is Sheikh Hasina planning to do? Is there any room for reconciliation? Can she return? Will she want to return?
No, she definitely wants to return, and she will return. With this current regime, there is no scope. They are basically backed by the Jamaat-e-Islam, the Islamists who oppose the creation of Bangladesh. Their goal was at first to change the constitution and turn Bangladesh into an Islamist state. But because of public pushback, they were not able to do those. They were not able to achieve those goals. So now their goal is to have this one-sided election so that then at least they can bring the Islamists to power and still continue on their goal of Islamizing the country and keeping out the progressive secular parties. Awami League is the largest one, but they've also excluded the other secular progressive parties, such as the third largest party, the Jatiyo Party.
Right.
That is why for them it is so critical to have this sham election. And that is why it is also so critical for us to stop this sham election. And I think that is something that the international community is certainly concerned with.
Okay.
This regime has released hundreds of convicted terrorists, all the terrorists that our government caught and convicted and sentenced to jail. They have released them from prison. Lashkar-e-Taiba is operating freely in Bangladesh right now. Links have been found to the recent bomb attacks in Delhi to Lashkar-e-Taiba in Bangladesh.
Okay.
So the national community is becoming very concerned about this.
Well, all the best in your endeavors, Mr. Wazid, to seek rehabilitation. Thank you very much. Hope we can speak again under more propitious circumstances. Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Viewers, we're going to be going straight across now to Palki Sharma.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Madvi Hidma, one of the most feared Maoist commanders in Bastar, has been killed in an encounter. The confirmation comes from high-level security sources in the Bastar range, where Inspector General of Police Sundaraj Patalingam acknowledged the breakthrough. Hidma, who led the PLGA's Battalion No. 1, was a central figure in Maoist leadership. He had long evaded security operations. His neutralization is now a major strategic win by security forces. According to top intel sources, the top Maoist commander killing marks a major security breakthrough. He was behind brutal attacks in Bastar, Sukma, Dantewara and Malkangiri. His death disrupts Maoist logistics, recruitment and multi-district operations. Recent operations have cut Maoist influence by nearly 40%, pushing them into deep forest pockets already.
Sir, you've been heading the CRPF in the past. This news that is coming in of Hidma getting killed, what does this really mean as far as Naxalism is concerned, especially in Chhattisgarh?
Yeah, I would say that this is the most profound achievement since the war against the Naxals have started. As you know, Hidma was the epitome of all cruelty and barbaric acts in Bastar district, especially in Sukma area. And a lot of, I think, innocent people and security forces had been killed because of his strategic moves. So this, I would say, would be a decisive turnaround in this fight. And after his elimination, it would mean that the movement is almost gone.